Man, welcome to the Acoustic Shelf, man, with D Will and that boy Cappelle.
What's up,
So,
bro? What's up?
man, ain't nothing, man. What's good with you, boy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Up early this morning.
For real?
Out,
Yeah.
yeah.
You right? You
Tired.
walk when you out and about, you like this right here?
Pretty much. Pretty much. You got to keep that
With
mask on, man. That's crazy. That's crazy because that's as uncomfortable as that mask is. With these spikes and stuff, it's kind of proven that it's necessary. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, it's proven it's necessary to at least wear it because people get out there without masks and they getting sick and they got record numbers in Texas and Florida and I know it got other factors involved, but yeah, that mask life is essential right now.
but remember, old buddy, I was telling y'all about Rick Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done made national news, man.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he was on like Channel 11 first or whatever, and then they
Yeah.
was talking about his story and stuff. Man, dude, so he tired of planning funerals, man. I'm like, bro, I feel
Yeah, I
you,
feel
dog.
that. Is he on national news because they like gonna give him some support or like what?
Um, I don't think he asking for support or nothing like that. I think they just picked up his story because of the situation, and basically they just want to make people aware that people are dying and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. Because with that, it may give him support, even though that's not what he's doing it for. Which is, so that's good. I'm glad he, being able to get his story out there, and maybe if anything, it got help other people to not be so nonchalant about it and realize that
Straight up.
this a real thing. It ain't no games with this COVID
It's
19.
Nah, man. It's the Democrats, man. The Democrats, they the ones who did all of this. They started COVID-19, man.
Yeah, according to according to others,
Yeah,
yeah, it's crazy, bro.
that's
What's crazy?
madness.
What's crazy is like at this point, it don't even matter how it started. I
I
mean,
mean, for real.
if you find out, if we literally like can link it back to something, and we can actually find out with evidence, and we can hold people accountable, great. But that don't change the fact that it's here.
Bruh, I don't try to explain stuff to people. I just ask questions. Like,
Yeah,
what's the purpose of me starting a disease that could actually affect me and my family?
exactly, bro. Exactly.
That makes absolutely no sense. And, yeah, unless I got a death wish or I'm suicidal or something like that. But that's a strange way to commit suicide.
Yeah, you're right.
But
Yeah.
it's like the Walking Dead out here, man. It's like the zombie apocalypse for real. So the old lady, we decided, she should get a gun or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I started off online and I see that online, man, the gun prices are ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So we was gonna get a couple of guns, go get her one, and then just get another one for the house. So I'm looking around and stuff like that, and I see these astronomical prices. So I'm like, okay, I know we can get something decently priced at like Walmart or Academy, bruh. They ain't got no guns. Like the gun stocks are very low, man. It's really looking like The Walking Dead, bruh. So I'm online and I'm seeing the guns, and I'm like, okay, I think this is a decent one right here to get. And when I go to try to purchase it or whatever, it's like, what I'm saying, you got to change stores because we don't got none at this store. So I'm looking all the way like probably as far as like Beaumont. No guns, man. Like, they have guns, but it ain't, what I'm saying, you might be able to find a few pistols and stuff like that, but not no assault rifles and different types of shotguns that you may want and stuff.
That's crazy, bro. I'm pretty sure they got a bunch of super soakers. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
bro, these people living in fear, bro. Like, for real.
Hey, it is what it is, bro. I ain't big on guns. I actually thought about going to get me one. My wife, she got one. So not hearing what you said. Have you tried going to a gun store, like just a gun store in general?
No, but where the national market is indicative of what's going on in the smaller market too. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
not like Academy gonna be out and then I'm gonna go to the gun store and they just gonna have tons of gun because this stuff is like on national back order. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I mean, we went to a couple pawn shops and stuff like that, and they were all like brand new guns. You know, normally pawn shop have a lot of used weapons and stuff like that. They was out. They had to buy new guns or whatever. So if this happens again, I'm investing in guns. And that, but the crazy thing is, I already knew this was gonna happen or whatever, but I didn't think it was gonna be this huge because I'm not thinking that a pandemic that is about to last for 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bruh,
You know,
your thinking was not on point.
it
They
wasn't.
look what they did with toilet tissue. Toilet tissue.
It's
So you
obsolete now.
already know something like guns that they have an amendment written for.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Every
So
time something go down, bro, people get scared and start buying guns. I'm like, yeah, bro, like really? Like y'all really think it's about to go down like that?
hey, I think a lot of people do think it's about to go down, and you know they got people out there that want it to go down. So that's a whole nother
Bro,
issue.
that's
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
that's outrageous.
Before we push, and go forward with the show, I want to give a update on our last on previous shows. We talked about the Justice Act, that bill, that police reform bill. It went through. The Democratic side went through. So the Republican side, as far as how they was trying to push it with all the minimal um, change, it didn't. It wasn't happening. So I wanted to go ahead and throw that in there
I
for
mean,
the
they
people that listen to that.
that wasn't even a starter bill what they was proposing. Like I was saying, I know what they trying to do, which is what they always do. They give you like a half measure or something
Yeah,
like that, and then work up to where we need to be. I never understood the purpose of that. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah.
the reason why we call it systematic, right there. You know what
Exactly,
I'm saying?
exactly. Mm.
Yeah. What we talking about? Tobe and Nwigwe today.
Yeah, yeah. We talking about that boy Toby. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let you kick that off. I know you got a lot to say about this cat.
Young Tobe and Nwigwe, you sent him to me. I had already checked him out. The first time I heard him, he had what was called like a mini desk production. Looked like he was like in a library somewhere or whatever. And man, he had like a choir, and they was and he had the bass guitar, he had piano and stuff, and they was just harmonizing South side we roll on choppers and hold it down. We it was tight. And I was just expecting them to be singing all the way through. Then when that boy started spitting, you know what I'm saying, my antennas went all the way up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
whoa, like this boy go hard, you know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
yeah, so I kind of dove in the checking him out, and he a pretty solid artist, man. I mean he more than pretty solid. That boy straight, man. He remind me of, I could tell his influences like come from like the Dungeon family. You can hear that in him. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? He sound like he a part of the Dungeon family, but that boy from most notably that boy from A Leaf, from Southwest
yeah,
Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? And he got looked like I think he from like African descent. His parents was like from Africa. I don't know what part. I didn't really do no research on him per se. Just listen to the music. Just wanted to catch his vibe. And so you can hear like when we first moved here, we from Greens Point. You know what I'm saying? And that's one side of Houston on the north side that got its own little vibe and stuff like that. It's pretty hood. Then as you move further south, get to like downtown Houston, that's a whole different vibe. You know what I'm saying? Business people from all over the country or whatever. But for the most part, Houston is one of the most diverse and dynamic cities in the country. But when you move from like downtown and start permeating outward, it's only really just a bunch of white, black, and Mexican people. But when you get out to like the Southwest, that's when you get a lot of Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, different people from Africa, you know what I'm saying, Nigeria, Ghana, places like that or whatever, and then a lot of Indians and stuff like that. So that leave that whole Southwest area is like you got all of that in you. If you went to like Taylor and Hastings and all them type of schools or whatever, you grew up with a whole different type of personality, a whole different type of vibe or whatever. So when people talk about Houston being diverse and dynamic, really that's the heart of it. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the post of that diversity or whatever, because there's so many different type of people out there, but you can hear that in them. That's what, that's where the wife from. That's where Rashonda from. She from A Leaf. So when she listen to him, she stand up because he always talking about that West. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the homie JU, man. That's one of my homies from that West. I think that boy live in Amsterdam now. I wish I was out there with him.
Oh
But
yeah, let's
yeah.
look that up. Let's
You
look
know
that
what I'm
up.
saying? Straight up, man. But yeah, Tobe, man, that boy fire, bro.
Man, when I sent them to you, I was riding around listening to this motivation podcast that I like kind of created with a bunch of different motivational quotes and then songs that like kind of get me hype when I work out. And I was like, and his song came on, I'm dope. And I was like, yeah, we could talk about that cat right there, cause I mean his lyrics, like you say, his lyrics they fire, and he talking about something. You know what I'm saying? And he got that South Side flow, that South Side flavor. And one of the things I like about social media is like in the past, man, artists like this, it would be hard for us to get access to unless he just blew up mainstream. And I mean, he started from the bottom. He talked about how he started from the bottom. He, hustling, getting his name out there, getting his music out there. And I heard of him because one of my boys, Mike McCauley, shout out to him in Dog Pound family. One of my Dog Pound brothers.
What up, dog
He
pound?
he posts a lot on his story, and I always check him out. And he posts a lot of music too. And he posted that song called Juice with Toby and
Him,
Paul.
Power Wow, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, man, that go hard. You know what I'm
That boy
saying?
Power Wow was using all them $5 words on them.
Yeah, I was like, my flow is, I mean, my flow is like a hippopotamus. I'm like, this boy, he's
Yeah.
doing all ominous, Monica, like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this boy is killing it.
Yeah, he
Then
sound like
Toby,
old Power Wow, man.
exactly. Then Toby came on. I was like, this cat, he cold. Like, who is this? You know what I'm saying? So I looked him
Yeah,
up and on Spotify, and then I just like kind of listened to a bunch of his tracks. He got this one album where he did it's like he did a live show, and so a lot of all the songs that he did, the original songs were done to a live band.
yeah,
That album go hard, and
really.
that's the song I'm dope and what it's for. Like he got a original version, but the version I listened to is with a live band.
Yeah, yeah,
And when I listened to I'm Dope, I was like, yeah, this dude here the truth. That's the one where he was talking about Dave Chappelle
yeah.
told
And
me I'm
Erica
dope, and Erica
Badu.
Badu
Yeah,
told me I'm
yeah,
dope.
yeah.
I'm like, and then I was like, if Dave Chappelle told me dope, I don't even need to hear no more, because Dave Chappelle, I mean, that's one of my favorite artists or whatever. So if he like him, then I'm like, yeah, I'm riding with him. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Man, when I listened to him, you know what I'm saying? And he said like recently two things that really stood out to me. He said on that mini death situation that he had, he said, stop giving CPR to dead situations. And I was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was super dope or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we do that a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? We be in situations or whatever that we trying to revive them and trying to hope and wish that it gets better and stuff like that instead of using real life analysis. You know what I'm saying? We do that a lot of times with a lot of things, and you got to grow beyond that stage.
yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, and I think that's human nature. You know what I'm saying? We hope and we pray, and sometimes we hope and pray in vain, and the answer is already in us. We already know we need to move on, but yeah, we still focusing on something that's a lost cause. And like back to Toby. I mean, that's another thing I like about that boy is like his lyrics are not empty. His
Straight up.
analogies are not empty either. They
Yeah.
they 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 got they powerful. They mean something, and they you can relate. So yeah, yeah, man. But go ahead.
So the other thing that he talked about, which I actually wanted to build the show around, you know what I'm saying, was the fact that he said he was spitting, he was going ham, and then that boy said he just shed a beacon of light to me because it like fits so perfect with things that I've been through. That boy said, he said radio wouldn't show him love, even though they obsolete.
I mean, you you right. I mean, I want you to go ahead and expand. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you got a lot to say on this. But
So where do I start? So I'm gonna tell the story first. So me and Trey, as you know, of course, you know what I'm saying, that's my bro, and we had a record company together. We had a record and we were artists, you know what I'm saying? We had a group, and you know, there's trials and tribulations and woes and sacrifice and all of that type of stuff that come along with that. And as far as I could remember, radio is kind of like maybe like the pinnacle, or at least the conduit to getting to the masses of people and stuff like that or whatever. It's not many times that somebody has just straight come out the box and been able to grow a following without the use of radio. You know what I'm saying? So just as any artist, I don't know any artist that don't want to rock with radio. You know what I'm saying? So radio is kind of like your parents or whatever. You want to get their approval. You want them to love you, because that's the way, you know, you can get to the success, you know, that you know that a lot of artists are trying to achieve or whatever. So in any event, um me and Trey, we came up with a project. We thought the project was solid. Everybody around us thought it was solid. You thought it was solid. You know what I'm saying? Everybody checked us out, listened to the music, was rocking with it, vibing with it. You know what I'm saying? So we had our radio connects back in the city, you know, in the A or whatever. So went up there, hollered at the program director, you know, what do we need to do? You know what I'm saying, to get popping and stuff like that, you know, with the radio. And of course they told us uh I forgot, it was like, was it like Wednesday nights? I can't remember, but they wanted us to get on Kiss It or Miss It, because that's back when they had that little segment where you could check out other people, check
yeah,
out local talent and stuff like
yeah,
that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And not just local talent. Sometimes it would be national songs or whatever, and you know, see if how the people respond to it. If the people like it, okay, we'll put it in rotation. People don't like it, you know, hey, sayonara, you know what I'm saying? So in any event, we get the song up there to him or whatever. Now this dude tell me, look, you know, this is all contingent upon people liking the song or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So get all your people together. If, you know, the people that your fans and all of that type of stuff, let them know that, you know, we're gonna play the song on such and such night, whatever. Bam, cool. So I'm letting everybody know, look, bro, they're gonna play the song. If y'all rocking with it, let it be known. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, we get the song up there to them. They play the song. It's, you know, it's jam. Of course, this is my song on the radio, so I'm feeling good. I'm elated. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I think we're
yeah,
gonna get a good response. This our city. You know what I'm saying? We from the town or whatever. People love us. We love the people. You know what I mean? So they play the joint. uh we get a tremendous response. Tremendous. Everybody called it. It wasn't just our family and friends and fans and stuff, man. It's just random people I'm listening to the radio station. Oh yeah, man, them boys jamming. You know what I'm saying? You know, people calling me. I know that it's not a farce, because homies calling me like, bro, man, you said such and such, and man, Trey said, you know what I'm saying? So people was
yeah,
really vibing with the song or whatever. So um so them boys afterwards, you know, the radio personality at that point in time, I ain't gonna say nobody's names because I don't I ain't trying to shun nobody. Time has passed. I don't have any animosity towards the situation. But anyway, the personality, you know, come out and said, man, you know, these boys, you know, these the hometown heroes, you know what I'm saying? We rocking with them, and they song jamming. And the most notable thing that I like about these boys, they had cats calling from out of town. You know what I'm saying? We let our people know out of town, hey, you know, y'all check them out. Go, you check out our radio station. Go to the you know, we promoting the radio station as well as ourselves or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So we bringing them business and everything. Um, you know, they all on the internet checking out the radio station or whatever.
yeah,
They
yeah,
ain't even have an internet presence. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So in any event, they played the song a few more times or whatever, and then something happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. Like like that time when Courtney fell. The hole just opened up in the ground. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I hollered up there like, hey, what's going on? I've been listening to the radio all day. We don't hear the song. And they just kind of kept playing me to the side and stuff like that or whatever. So I'm like, okay. So I went up there and hollered at the program director, and he told me like the craziest stuff I ever heard in my life when it comes to to radio. He said too many people were requesting the song.
Hey, bro, I thought that's what you want. I mean, that's.
Hey, bro, I
What
have
was?
never.
Did he give any other explanation as to why that was a problem?
he said that the radio personality um didn't like the fact that they kept getting phone calls about the song and stuff like that or whatever. They had told me that he said he was gonna start playing the song like in the wee hours of the morning and stuff like that. Maybe 1, 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Cool. I am not tripping with that. You know what I'm saying? Because especially on the weekends, people up checking that out or whatever. And they never played the song again, bro. We even had a few notable people call up there and ask some questions or whatever. That they got the same response or whatever. Where they kind of just played them to the side. Yeah. We love the song or whatever. We gonna check it out. I mean, we gonna play it and stuff like that. We just gotta. Then it turned into a timing thing or whatever. I'm talking about like maybe a week later, it turned into a timing situation. Well, we didn't really have time to squeeze it into the to the programming and stuff like that or whatever. I seen the dude who was hating the
Yeah.
radio personality. I seen him later. I didn't even ask him no questions about it, bro. It was just I was beyond it at that point in time. It was probably about a couple months later or whatever, but it was just some hating going on or whatever, basically.
I mean that's crazy, bro. And I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like I understand the industry, and how they do radio. I mean, I understand they got an agenda and all that, but when you hear a story like that, it just makes and you somebody that listen to the radio, you kind of know how the rotation goes. You like, man, y'all play a popular song 30 times in a day. You can take one of those spots and play something else. Like if it's something that's popping, if it's something that's especially something that's local. Like I mean, I don't know, bro. It's crazy to me how these industries they kind of like they basically they they basically like pillaging artists or whatever. I say pillaging, but they not representing the craft the way that it should be represented. You know what I mean? They push out what they want to push out, and it's I don't know. It's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
It is crazy, bro, because we had several artists coming up, you know what I'm saying, that we had love for or whatever and would have loved to hear them on the radio popping. Like, remember Doobie Smooth? Doobie Smooth was like the only one. Remember
Smoke
him?
one for your boy,
You
two
feel
for
me?
the joy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Doobie
Sweet,
Smooth.
so sweet,
Shout out,
perfect
shout out
dog.
to Kim Carter, classmate. That was her brother. I remember that. We
Oh
was
man, what up,
freshmen.
Kim Carter? What
We
Kim?
was
What Kim
freshmen with that.
Carter?
She in Alabama, man. She a lawyer and everything. She
Oh
doing
man,
it
that's what
big,
it is.
doing it
That's what's
real
up.
big. But go ahead.
Now, what you about to say?
Nah, you said Doobie Smooth. I got
Oh,
excited.
then the homeboy Fade. You know what I'm saying? You had the twins, Travis and Terrell. You had
Yeah.
Darrell and Carell, D and Trey. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Jug and Jet. Man, any of us should have been able to get it popping on the radio. The reason being is because nationwide there's a company called the Nielsen company
Yeah.
that they pretty much they monitor data or whatever, and they give an average of the data that's they pretty much they probably one of the first data mining companies or whatever. So they do data research and stuff like that, and they monitor radio spins. And so in order to have to be a part of them, you have to have a subscription with them. So if you in New York, LA, New Orleans, any of these major metropolitan areas or whatever, most of those radio stations are monitored by Nielsen or whatever, if the ones that have a subscription. So if I'm in LA and I'm popping in LA, and I go to New York, and I take my music and like, hey man, we want y'all to play this song or whatever. The first thing they're gonna do is go to Nielsen and see, what your demographic is, you know what I'm saying, what you working with, are you getting spins, or we just playing this record just because you asking us to do it, or do you actually have a following and stuff like that or whatever. This is before the internet and all of that. Nowadays you could just go to somebody Twitter or they Instagram and see, okay man, he got 200,000 followers, or he got 1 million followers, whatever the situation is, you know what I'm saying, and you see, okay, I could build on that.
Yeah.
Before, they used to use companies like Nielsen and check your radio spins all throughout Louisiana. I don't even think maybe New Orleans may have been the only city that may have used the Nielsen on a radio station. Everywhere else, from like Lake Charles to Lafayette, Alexandria, you know what I'm saying? They didn't use that. I know Alexandria definitely didn't use the Nielsen company, so it would have meant nothing for them to play our record or any of the other guys that I named record. It would have meant nothing. You're not paying for a subscription with this major corporation or whatever that's monitoring data. So what does it matter to you? It doesn't matter. And another thing that's just messed up about radio, period. The reason why we hear a national playlist is because the FCC rulings, like I think it was like a Telecommunications Act of maybe 1996 or something like that or whatever. They made it to where these major companies could own multiple radio stations in each market or whatever. At one point in time, you could only own like maybe 2 to 4 radio stations in each market or whatever. If you go look, I'm not gonna name the companies, but certain companies own like almost 1,000 radio stations. So I remember riding through ATL as a youngin, being able to hear music from Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? If somebody just so happened to be really popping in LA and Houston and all these different areas, you will hear them too or whatever, but you're gonna mainly get the pulse of the city by listening to that, you know what I'm saying? Listening to the radio station. Go to New York, same thing. They used to have radio stations where they play unedited, uncensored music and everything or whatever. Like
Yeah.
those days are dead because these companies owning thousands of radio stations that can pretty much got a nationally syndicated playlist or whatever. So if I'm popping in Houston and I'm with this specific radio station, what's gonna stop them from playing my music in Dallas and LA and New York and Jersey and all these different places? Nothing, because I'm already in the system.
Yeah.
So you don't get no pulse. Before, the reason why you could only own, 1, 2, 3, 4 radio stations is for competition or whatever, and for telecommunication purposes, nobody being able to have a monopoly on the market. It's not like that anymore, and that's crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, the advent of social media and YouTube and these streaming sites, and it has opened so many doors for artists to be successful and even to make money without having to you know do shows and stuff like that. Being able to put your own music on Apple and and Spotify and stuff like that. I mean, it's if y'all was rapping now, you know, like younger, if y'all have started now, I have no doubt that y'all would have reached a pinnacle of success because you wouldn't have had to depend on the powers that be to promote you and get your name out there. But
Straight up.
it is it's kind of messed up that the times dictate how successful you can be in certain industries. But I mean that's life, you know what I'm saying? That's life. But one thing, and when you said that about Atlanta, I was gonna mention that. Like, I remember being in Atlanta and them having radio stations dedicated to local talent, and it was people that we never even heard of. But it was. I mean, it was good music, but it was just dedicated to that
Straight
particular
up.
area. Because we took a few trips to Atlanta together, and my brother he lived there, and so I would go there pretty often, and I would hear those radio stations, and even in Atlanta they had unedited radio stations like you're talking about in New York, where it was just straight uncensored, and I mean I know you can't compare Atlanta to like Louisiana or the city of Atlanta to the city of Alexandria, but like you said, you got local talent. It's not like you had a whole slew of artists in Alexandria trying to get on the radio, because it's not a whole slew of people in Alexandria. But
Straight up.
so the few people that was trying to get on and was trying to rap, they could have dedicated a segment of the day to those rappers, an hour, or just periodically played their music or whatever. And if they was trash, because everybody music not good, and that's just real. If they was trash, you don't play them. But if you actually have people calling and requesting a song, and it's local, like, to me, that's about showing love, to where you live and the people that's in your city. Like, that's crazy that that particular person. I want to know who that is. I want you to tell me when we off the air,
Yeah.
because you over it, but you didn't got me wondering who it is, so I can like throw some shots at him. But, but this dude that moved on with life, he not even a radio personality. You remember this, partner? You remember this? Payback.
Man, he probably working in the cafeteria somewhere right now. Hey, but,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy, man. When old buddy said that, bro, that kind of struck a nerve. When I was like, wow, that. But radio wasn't obsolete at that point in time. Radio was popping, but the fact that you still got to fight to get on radio, you know what I'm saying? It don't
Hmm.
make. And this boy is tight. he's
Yes.
he's tight. You know what I'm saying? He tighter than we was. You know what I'm saying? Because his style, he more polished. We was still growing at the time or whatever. But which is no excuse because Boosie and Webby, they first set of music, man, that stuff wasn't even mixed and mastered or whatever. It didn't sound like it. It sounded, the music was good, but the quality of the music wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And we was playing that like, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't no tomorrow or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, oh yeah, I forgot to shout out to my boy Avery them in 3D. What was Avery name? 911 and 3D. Yeah, shout out to my homies,
Oh, you
man.
talking about Avery Dupont?
Yeah, man.
Avery,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Oh yeah,
forgot
yeah, yeah.
Avery.
Maurice. Hold on,
Avery's
hold on.
still on
Before you,
his.
he is?
He's
I was about to
still on
say
his.
before I forget,
Yeah,
Maurice and them
he's
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maurice. Oh yeah, Avery's still on his rap game. He posted something on Instagram about a week ago. Still got flow, man. He still
Who?
Avery
Avery.
Dupont.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he like into music heavy. I think
Yeah.
he promote music because he actually got a something on his story today. Which
Okay.
today is what, June 27th. Make sure I let y'all know what the exact day is. But
Yeah, yeah.
promoting somebody, and yeah, so Avery's still in the game. He's still doing it a little
Wait, June
bit.
27th. Ain't that
Oh
ain't
yeah,
that Big
it's
Mo
yeah, it's birthday, right?
birthday screw? Shout out to
Birthday
the
screw.
homie Big Mo, man. Shout out to Screw.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah, bro.
Uh,
What you who I'm on tour today, huh?
nah, I'm on tour today. I'm on
You
tour, but
sure?
before we go on tour,
Nah, you on
before we go on tour, we got to talk about this movie, man.
oh, what
Yeah,
movie?
this movie, Rememory.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I
With Little
watched
Peter Dinklage.
it. Shout out to Peter Dinklage. You probably ain't gonna listen to this podcast. It's all good. But
Nah, that's the homie. That's the little homie.
that's the homie. Yeah, the little homie. No pun intended. If for y'all don't know who Peter Dinklage is, I ain't gonna ask y'all to look him up. That's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, the imp.
The
Uh
imp. Yeah, the little
Tyrion
person.
Tyrion Lannister.
Exactly. Tyrion Lannister, the little person. You know, but I I watched it, man, and so before I I'm gonna give you my rating on it. On the
Yeah, yeah.
scale of what 1 to 5. I'm gonna give it like a 2.5, 3. It had some holes in it for me. It did have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
holes in it for me, but the concept of it, I like the
I thought
concept.
the concept was dope.
The
Yeah.
concept was dope. The memory machine, and people being able to like go and see their memories and store their memories, and you would think it was something that would help with therapy, because it seemed that the
Yeah.
people that needed this were troubled, but I don't want to give away the ending of the story. The end of it, I kind of felt that
So you didn't like the plot twist?
I didn't like. I like the plot twist. Like, I like how they waited to the end to show that part,
Yeah.
but the I didn't understand his drive.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand his drive to do what he was doing.
Yeah, yeah, I feel
You
that.
know, like, I'm like, man, you just should have stayed far away from this because you did something real messed up, and you got away with it.
Yeah.
You brought yourself back into the fold, but it's not like what you're doing is completely vindicating nothing, you
Yeah.
know. But I like the very end what she did. I kind of felt like she was gonna do that, and I felt like that was appropriate for her in that particular part of the movie to end it
Hey,
that way.
bro. Hey, bro. Listen, people. If you haven't seen the movie, then you may want to stop listening right now.
I'm not
Uh,
gonna say what she did.
why not?
I mean, because I'm not gonna say what she did. You know what
Hold
she
up. I'm
did.
trying. I'm trying to remember. Hold up. You talking about which person?
The wife of
Or
the
the
guy
man?
that created the machine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hold up.
when
Oh,
he
when she threw away,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly,
and she
that
didn't want to
part.
see what happened or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay.
And she was at peace. And in real life, most people would have been like, "Well, let me look at this. What are you talking about?" And then she
Yeah.
would have went right back to being, depressed and hurt because when she saw that, she would have been mad. She would have been upset.
Yeah.
So for her to like just take the peace that she had at that moment and say, "You know what? I'm good," and not look at it. I mean, that's a good message because
But
that's go ahead.
did I miss something? He wasn't drunk. He wasn't drunk or nothing like that.
No, he was actually the designated driver because his boy was drunk.
Yeah, I think that was his brother. So I understand how how grief works, of course, or whatever. But he didn't really do nothing wrong except for just run away from the situation, right?
That's 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 pretty wrong.
Not really a big deal. I mean, it
That's pretty
happened, you
wrong.
know.
That's pretty wrong. Yeah.
But why? If anybody should be mad, it should be his dead brother. I was wondering why his brother was visiting him and stuff like that. Like, yeah, you know what you did.
Yeah, I was too. I was like, why is he having these visions or these hallucinations, man? Like, it didn't make sense in the moment, but
Yeah,
it let you know that something more was to come. So
yeah, yeah.
that's what it was supposed to do. I
I
mean, like I
think.
said, oh, go ahead, go
Well,
ahead.
see, I think that was his drive because he was trying to. We didn't know, but he was full of guilt, and he wanted to know what it was. The last words that his brother was saying. I guess he wanted to know what his brother was saying. I forgive you, or or something
So
like that, or whatever.
when I say his drive, I mean he was guilty. He was doing that for himself. He was not doing it for that woman.
Yeah,
What I was saying by drive is like I guess that was his drive, but I get what I was meaning was like what you're doing is not like you're not like saving somebody's life. Like what you're doing is not
yeah,
equivalent to what you did as far as like trying to match things up.
yeah, yeah.
This dude was already dead. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you like I don't know. It didn't seem like it was. I don't. It didn't seem like it was thought out enough for me.
I
But
feel you. How the wife feel that the side pieces they're acting like she the wife, or you know what I'm saying, or they
man,
equivalent.
listen, side pieces, women. If you know you the mistress, play your part. I mean, that's just that. I mean, you may think I'm an asshole for saying it, but I'm gonna be honest. If you know the situation, I'm not saying nobody's right or wrong. People do what they do in their relationships, and we probably gonna have a show about this one day. So I'm not gonna go into no detail. People do what they do, but if you jump into that situation knowing what it is, have the decency to play your part. Like, don't be trying to change the narrative and become the number one when you was the side and you knew you was the side, and now you trying to act like you the main. Like, that's crazy to me. And you know what? Let me change that. For men too, play your part,
Straight up,
not just women. Like if
straight
you the
up.
side person, be the side person, and if you tired of being a side person, leave the situation and don't be a part of it no more. Don't be trying to ruin people's lives. I mean, everybody got to be held accountable for their decisions, but don't be the one that be snitching and doing all that because you can't control your feelings.
And don't get emotional coming up to the hospital talking about, oh, he got COVID, so I want to go see him, knowing his family up there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Showing up at the funeral, trying to sit on the front row. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I understand you want to pay your respect. Sit in the back. Like, don't nobody need to know who you are. You know what I mean? You just a
Exactly.
friend.
Just see his face and be like, okay, he's doing all right. or she's doing all right. Let me go about my business, you know. But anyways, that's a whole nother topic that we can really get into.
Straight up.
I would like to have somebody on the show when we talk about that,
Yeah,
because I want.
get some side pieces up here.
But yeah, man. What's on Tobe is what's on Tobe, the Cappelle edition. So before I show the shoes, I'm gonna describe the shoe too for those of y'all that's not looking at the YouTube channel. But before I show the shoes, um, this actually is my favorite shoe right now because it's nostalgic. It's not my favorite shoe as far as the way it looks, but it's my favorite shoe as far as what it is. And it's this Air Max 2, man. Now I don't like the shoe, the Air Max 2 in general. I don't like the
Yeah,
style of it, but this particular shoe I love because it's a tribute to the 90s. Like if you
straight
look at
up.
the color patterns, these patterns are all 90s patterns that Nike had at some point on either shoes or apparel. And I don't have the other shoe, but the other shoe is totally different. It's totally different. It's not the same patterns and everything. And I mean, it's a shout out to the 90s. You know, the 90s is when I was in my teenage years from middle school to high school, and then towards my college years and the end of my college years. That was my youth going towards my being a young man. So very nostalgic, you know, these shoes, and I can wear them pretty much with anything because they got several colors. You know, it ain't like a colorway. The colorway is the 90s patterns or whatever. It's called an Air Max 2. If you look up Air Max 2, you're going to be like, man, them shoes ugly. But if you look up this shoe, like I like this shoe because of the way that they designed it. It's a little bit different than the actual Air Max 2. So, you know, when you look up the Air Max 2, I don't even know what you type besides Air Max 2. It got a name, Air Max 2 90s colorway. I don't know. You'll know what it is when you see it though. If you're not watching the
The
video.
Air Max 2 cross colors. Just look that up.
Cross colors. Shout out to cross colors. I can't believe that was a trend. That was terrible.
With the African colors and Jamaican
Yeah,
colors.
the big jeans and the jacket to match with the pants. Like man, we was walking around looking like complete idiots in my opinion.
Hey, bro, them pretty straight, but well, I probably wouldn't rock them or whatever. But I did notice when we went to Academy yesterday that's what I guess what Nike doing is they going 90s retro because they had a lot of those type of colors and stuff like that, man. I was gonna get some basketball shorts, but I couldn't do it because all of them was like 4 inches above the knee. Look like you know what I'm saying, some Daisy Dukes or something or whatever. But you know what? That's what these kids wearing now. Like when they play basketball, they got the like shorts on and stuff.
I mean,
Like Charles Barkley.
everything is has been sized down about 3 sizes. What used to be a large now is a extra large, and what used to be a small is a extra small. I mean, everything
A medium.
is exactly everything is smaller, you know. But it is what it is. You know, I ain't mad at them. Times change. I feel like the only era that I don't think is ever gonna come back, as far as fashion goes, for the most part, was the early '90s when we was
Yeah.
wearing cross colors. Remember skids, them hammer pants.
Yeah.
Man, boy,
Skids.
we was Z
Remember, hey,
Cavaricci.
see, I was about to say Z Cabaret. Hey, bro, them was jockey pants. Like, if you was riding a horse, like, they flared out on the side. Like, if you actually jumped off of a building, you might catch some wind and be able to float down with the pants, bro.
And the '90s fashion, like '90 to '95, it was terrible. It was terrible, bro.
Man, it was fly for us. You know what I'm
It
saying?
was, but man, I don't
Chabos.
see them pictures. They're the only pictures I look at. When I look at pictures of me being a kid, it's like, oh, okay, cool. When I look at pictures of me like in college and maybe
Yeah.
10 years ago, all right, cool. When I look at pictures when I was in high school, and other people too, not just me, I'm like, hey, what was we wearing, bruh? What was
Yeah.
we thinking? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Man, that's what's up, man. Bro, this is Acoustic Chef. Y'all have a good day.